Wow. Well, I think I work in 8 hours, so let's do that.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Champ Chat, the Canadian Nationals 2017 edition. I am joined today by the winner, of course, of Canadian Nationals 2017, Mr. Adam Kohl.
Woo! Hi, everybody. King in the North, please. King in the
Oh,
North.
sorry, the King in the North. I got a wedding to attend later. You want to join? Red theme.
Maybe.
All right. With that said, if you're watching live, feel free to ask questions in the chat if you have any questions that we may not cover throughout this discussion. But of course, with any Champ Chat, we're here to find out, pick the brain, if you will, of great players, champions, as it were.
Hello.
And Adam is, of course, the most fresh Canadian national champion. So without further ado, we start with the same question every time, Adam. What's your HeroClix history? When did you start playing? How long have you been competitive? All that kind of stuff.
Well, I started playing, let me see here. Oh, excuse me. 12 years ago?
12 years
with,
ago, okay.
Indy. Yep, with Indy. I started, about 12 years. I've been competitive, I'm going to say off and on, because I've, like the super qualifier in the regional, was it a regional super regionally Rocky thing in Ontario, in Windsor, which was a lot of fun, but very underattended, which is very poor. Maybe 20 people, high-end people, not high-end people. Ohio came out, George Macy was there, Kenny Pena, all kinds of crazy people were out there. But, just 20. Came in third in that. Fourth. I'm going to go with fourth. I think it was fourth. Then flash forward to 3 years or whatever, how long it's been. And now this year I took 10th in Canada, 11th. 10th or 11th in Canada in the WizKids Open. Third in the WizKids Open in Metro Detroit, here, my local venue, Eternal Games, Warren, Michigan. Third in Chicago. Both those ones were V1 and V2 of Trumper-Gorath. And then a less than stellar 14th place at the last sealed WizKids Open. But, out of 14 out of 40, it's not bad. 14 out of 43. So it's still top, but not really. And then Canadian Nationals.
and here you are. So let's get to Canadian Nationals. You mentioned you played your Trump team, or your Trumpa-Gorath. Oh my gosh, your Shuma-Gorath, who you've lovely named Trumpa-Gorath, for a couple tournaments now. But there was some evolution to it. So, what was some of the decision making that came behind your Canadian Nationals version of it, and how it evolved from what it was before?
Well, I've had the team in concept for a while, since just before Joker's Wild was legal. I figured that Trumpa-Gorath was Trumpa-Gorath at the time was probably the most daunting figure to face in close combat. The fact that he's got the plasticity, he's a 2x2 or 2x2. Built-in flurry at the 5 range with the reach, close combat. No move and attack, but someone showed me the Book of Sins, which I've never played before. Box of Sins, whatever that thing is.
Pandora's Box.
Yeah, that one with the things on it. No, yeah, Pandora's Box. I can mean Book of Sins, Pandora's Box, and they give him charge. We only needed a second character, which consequently was Bizarro to protect you from range. So V1 had Bizarro, Trumpa-Gorath, which I found this. I was playing with the team, and my wife makes a lot of fur costumes. We're furries, and ex-wife. And so I found this piece of fur just lying around. And it's kind of the same color as Trump's hair. So back in the fall, I kind of wrapped around his head and went.
Oof.
Yeah, and
Sounds like you had to get your soul win.
Well, I think I caught whatever Mike Payne and his wife had.
Ah,
Just it for me in the house, nothing from else. And so yeah, it just kind of looked. It just kind of looks like Trump, like evil. Does not have small tentacles. My tentacles are not small. So from there, V1 had 2 ID cards, 2 sins, and the Adam for retaliation. Was okay. Took third. Had leaked the team to Brian Poling, and Brian Poling had put it on the internet. So it was seen first by like 3 players out in Iowa somewhere. As I call it, cow fucking territory. I probably can't say that. Cow. Yeah, sorry, internet. Just beep it in post.
ad-friendly content.
Sorry. Apologize for my one swear all day. So now we're R-rated. Yeah. So we put that team together. Cooked third. Lost to PJ Broly. Good player. Good game. He had a Krang team. Krang was my nemesis. The next one, I had won the tank, which is what I wanted to get. So I had the tank. So I took out the Adam, put the tank in, added a sin, and then added an ID card, I think. My ID cards for the last round weren't as very good. Yeah, there he is. There's his beautiful stats.
I'm just showing this to the fans for those unfamiliar with the 200-point Shuma Garath right now. But carry on with your story.
Yep. That version used the tank, but by the week later in Chicago, the tank had become old hat, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you just kill the tank first, and then you go after his team. That's what you do." So people spent time hacking my 18 defense tank at range next to Vizero, or trying to close combat my tank next to Shuma Gorath, which worked out great for me because that meant they weren't attacking Shuma or Vizero. And then I just whooped up on everyone but Adam Freeman, who hit every shape change roll known to man. It felt like 7. I think it was only 4 he hit in a row, but 4 shape change rolls in a row is huge. To quote Trump, they're huge. So, yeah, it was a good game. Nothing from Adam Freeman. He's a great player. I think I would have lost that one even with all those shape changes. Even make all those shape changes, I think it still would have been super close. I probably would have lost because he made all those, but his Faust dice was nothing. He kept getting nothing and Browntown and a few other powers that didn't help him. So then Canadian Nationals. I changed the team up again. I fought like heck and made sure to get the ring legal just before the retirement of Shuma Gorath here. By saying classically that I wanted to play Doomsday, who came out in Mexico at the same day. So if one was legal, the other would be legal. That's why I kept pushing Doomsday as my team. So
I knew it was a swerve.
Yeah, now most people know by now that I especially after the Brian Poling incident, nothing against you, Brian, but leaking my team on the internet to high-end players, the advantage of having a off-brand team or a outsider team is that you can't prepare against it. If you don't know what they're going to play, you can't go like, oh yeah, we're gonna play against this team, right? I can think of a strategy against this guy. So by not having that, you just eliminate that. Like there's no way for you to prepare against me because I'm unpreparable. You don't know what to do against me. You lost. So as you can prepare against, Jakeem's. Jakeem Faust, Jakeem Green Lantern, Jakeem Deadpool, Jakeem X, Jakeem Y, Krang X, Krang Y, Krang Z and a quarter. Whatever people think the next meta is going to be, you can prepare against it because it's a publicly known meta. But when you fake out everyone by telling them, it's Doomsday, everybody, they don't know what you're playing. Or when I did my first time around with my fart team with Arcade, I told everyone that I was playing some sort of anti-robot team because PJ had just taken 2 WizKids Opens and a rock with his robot Ultron teams. So I told her, I'm playing an anti-robot team. It seems to be the meta to beat. And then people actually thought I was playing that, which is hilarious. So now I just list a fake team every time. People ask me what I'm playing, and unless I know you're not going to leak my team to the rest of the internet, fake team. I'm not saying that public teams aren't good, because sometimes if you need the feedback, like bouncing teams off people is helpful, but the right people. Because otherwise your team gets out there, and then whatever trick you were coming up with, probably someone else knows it. Someone said when I played arcade, I was swapping arcade on the round table, that was tried unsuccessfully in Las Vegas. And I'm like, okay, well, they didn't come in top 10 at a WizKids Open, so how do I know what they were playing? Couldn't been doing anything. Yeah, someone already probably figured out the trick, but the less it's spread around, the better it is for you.
Yeah.
So it came to Canadian Nationals. That's how I got my team. The team of Canadian Nationals took out the third Sin. I took out Wrath, added the ring in because I had 2 extra points. So I subtracted 4, added 5, or had 3 left, added. In any event, I'm 298. So the ring.
So with that, the boxing ring showed up quite a bit. I played against myself, 3 teams across the weekend that were using it, and it's quite the piece, to say the least. It's 5 points that you can throw on a team with a resource. Even do you feel that it gave you an extra edge on your team, or was it just you happened to put it in? What was the decision factor specifically in the boxing ring?
The boxing ring was pure synergy. The problem with Trump Agorath is that when I do roll, 50% of the time I roll a charge, so it's the power you want, assuming you've set up your attack.
Yeah.
With a sidestep and my starting 11 speed and my 5 reach, I have a charge radius of 13 squares, which is huge. Starting 2 squares, that means I can attack row 15 from the starting edge of board 1. It's huge, of course. The problem is that still leaves your opponent 9 squares to hide or stay out of your reach. The ring shortens that by putting the ring 3 squares out. First turn sidestep, second turn sidestep, and because of the mechanics of the ring, your figures cannot end their movement on the ropes. You've got to finish moving in or out. So there's no rules in there that say how to finish moving. So you just have to end your square and completely in or completely out of the ring. So sidestep 2 more leaves you on the edge of the ring, getting me an extra square of movement. So effectively I sidestep for 3. Legally, Kenny Pena. And then I'm in the ring. And then one short sidestep after that, I'm on the edge of the ring pretty much. And with Schumer Gorath's plasticity traded, the fact that I'm still mostly on my side of the map, a lot of characters with a shortened range. If I'm hanging out on the south end where my thumb is of the ring, and the top end is where my opponent is, with the short ranges of 5 and 6 we see in the game now, you got to shoot through the ring or get in the ring to shoot me, which means you're shooting out of the ring to take a -2. Once I get in the ring, you don't want to get anywhere near Schumer Gorath. He's just going to break your day open, man.
Plus 1 attack with the probability control and a flurry, yeah.
Yeah, and the 18 defense with combat reflexes, and then the -2 from the ring, you're just not having a good one. So that was just synergy on that. Like I was able to position the ring in such a way that staying on the north end of it towards my opponent meant that they had to physically either base me or overshoot me, which Jakeem has trouble doing because Jakeem has to choose. In order for Jakeem to overshoot my Trump Gorath, he has to choose phasing, which is not a great option for him.
No.
Please choose phasing. Please choose phasing and get in the ring with me.
Yeah.
Not a good option. Please don't choose phasing. Choose running shot and stay out of the ring and shoot at me. Good option. Because that means you are hitting Pizarro at a -2, and he already has an 18. And, yeah, good times for me. And I've got a problem. Or you're trying to base me, in which case I have plasticity and flurry, and you probably won't kill me unless you're smart. And the only person who actually tried to kill me smartly was Kenji. Kenji was my second round opponent with the ring, and once after I got positioning in the ring, and I could charge out of it, I just left the ring. The ring never factored back into my strategy unless I was on the retreat, which I never was. So my strategy was get to the ring, position the ring correctly in the map so that I could swing out of the ring my 13 squares safely and attack everything except the last row of the map, which is the starting zone, in order to keep away from Shumagorath.
Yeah.
So basically, the only way to beat me is to not play. Yeah, that's a solid strategy there. Don't play against me, and you can try to win, which is exactly what Kenny did. He was all like, I'm just going to keep backing up to my starting zone and all the way back to the wall once he figured that out. And still, even Kenji tried that. And I just came out aggressive. Because after positioning, it's just an aggressive team. So the ring with synergy.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Now with all of that, you came into Canadian Nationals pre-qualified, courtesy of the WKOs that you've done well enough in the States.
Yep.
So you took the first day, I'm guessing, to just kind of hang out, battle royale, play some of the side events.
I took the first day to play the Ultra Meta. That is the mind game. So my first battle royal versus Kenny and Kenji and Mike Payne, the three guys I went on to face in the top 8. Now Mike knows. I hear I'm spoiling everything about me. Mike knows I'll play that mind game, so he wasn't falling for any of it. But I've only played Kenny twice, and I've never played Kenji. So yeah, I just look like a noob. I move hero clicks on the board. I'm going to physically count out my squares. Look, I think I count out 6. Oh, isn't that enjoyable? I counted out 6 squares. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I just look like a total noob, and then my dice didn't help at all. But I purposely threw off their game by thinking, oh yeah, Adam qualified. He must have got really lucky. You know, he's just not very good at the game. So I could take him by surprise on when I knew how far squares were from each other. Like, oh, this is 10 squares away. I've got a 10 range. I'll just sidestep 1 in and out, and I got you. Like, easy. So I played the Ultra Meta and lost a couple of battle royals.
So at the cost of $20 Canadian, which as an American is nothing.
Well, I think, I don't know.
So obviously money well spent as you'd won.
Yeah,
here you
I think
are.
I was able
right?
to throw off, I think I threw off Kenji's game because he had never played me before, and he just had this look like, how are you even an opponent? Like, you can't. You're dressed. You got a kilt on. You have a vest. There's a tiger with you. Don't even have action tokens. You got little plastic animals. Like, this isn't a real game. You're some sort of child who wandered into here dressed like an adult, a poorly dressed adult like that. And then I won because sometimes you just have to play that, like, woo, next level meta, like the mindfuck. I'm sorry. God. I'm sorry,
it's okay.
advertisers.
It's okay. They'll kick us out soon enough, I'm sure.
I feel bad.
Don't. It's all right. Honestly, we're not offensive enough as it is, and the occasional little curse word is there. But we, Married with Clicks, do not endorse that kind of language. Just kidding. I mean, our channel started with that kind of language. Let's not kid ourselves. Oh man, the nasty mouths we had when we started. So, you played the mind game. Worked on a couple people. It's a shame that I wasn't pre-qualified so that I could counter your mind game, but I also wouldn't come to win.
Oh, battle royal against you. You are insane. I can hear you like 3 rooms away. Like, what What's going on over there? With Jason. What? Oh, God, okay.
Yeah, I do try to make the battle royales a ton of fun. Mostly because they are. Anyway, I'm way off base here. A little bit more focused on the tournament itself. Of the players that you played against, so you played in the 3 rounds of Swiss, and then of course the 3 rounds in the top 8. Do you have an opponent that you thought was going to be the one that took you, or a game that you thought, oh my gosh, this might not be it, or were you pretty confident for most of the tournament going through?
Round 1 was Krang. I knew that if he got a good lucky shot off on me, it was game over. But his luck wasn't there. I had prop, he had prop, and it just didn't happen for him. Round 2 was the Quinjet. I've never faced a Quinjet team with Trumper-Gorath. It was the only him and Mike Payne were the only 2 teams I didn't completely sweep off the board. And that still took 280 points, but I didn't kill his Quinjet. I killed everything else, killed all the characters he brought in, but I didn't kill the Quinjet. So didn't even try, honestly. I think I threw the tank at it, and then I called it a day at it. I threw the tank, knocked it out of the ring, and then just forget about the Quinjet. It was like, please, call in something. Please. Oh, look, Green Arrow. Green Arrow shot my guy for 2. Okay, well, now Trumper-Gorath kills him. Okay, call in someone else. Collins is fun. Call in someone else. Ooh, it's Nick Fury. Ooh. Yeah, so that was my game. Then round 3 was the best team. That was probably the funnest, and I hadn't prepared for it because it was something I probably would have played. Actually, I was working on a nationals team for some friends, not for myself because I won't be playing. We won't talk about that. Team, and people forget how incredibly good uncommon Doctor Strange is from the Avengers Defenders War, and how really good he is as a figure. 18 defend, and then you can, if you get damaged, if a friendly Jason Paley gets damaged, you can heal him 1 after actions resolve, and then roll a d6 see if Doctor Strange takes 1. But my opponent, whose name I forget, who's a lovely gentleman from Canada.
Drake Conrad. He was playing with Man-Thing, right?
Yes, he was playing with his Man-Thing at the table. It's very rude. He had 3 of the Doctor Stranges, which means that if I hit the Man-Thing, he healed back up 3. And then Doctor Strange might take 1. Each Doctor Strange might take 1. 50% time take 1. That's huge. Huge.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a formation team, and what beats formation teams?
Tank.
I tanked him and then picked his guys off.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Formation teams are weak against tank. And tank is 8 points and doesn't have a keyword anymore, so it's a bicep. It's insane.
No, it's got a keyword, but it doesn't break your theme.
Right. Sorry. That is a ruling that it did fall in my favor, that made my monster team a monster team, and it might give me theme, but it doesn't jive well with me. But that team, I was really worried. Like, if I can't hit him, I got in the ring. I got out of the ring. I tried to get back in the ring. He had the ring on lockdown with his high Bs until I brought in Kellyanne Conway. Good tech there. +2 to hit, +1 to damage from Hellcat in power. And Trumper-Gorath shot up to a 14 attack, down to a 13. It was a turn I had perplexed, so I went back up to a 14, launched that tank at him, and separated the team and then took it apart. So it was good. It was good. It was a very solid team. And I think it gets stronger now with the inclusion of Doctor Strange. Dr. Stark.
Dr. Stark. Yes, the what ifs one.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right.
Ashing on new figures.
Carry on.
No, I was going to say, the next round is Mike Payne. Fantastic opponent. We've gone 50-50 now on our matches. Good. Like I said, the only other guy didn't sweep off the board because I got his Shakeen down to his last click, second to last click. Very close. He probably would have regened up, and then, yeah, Or
He would have
just
regened with a 6 if I know Mike.
oh, so good. Then it would have took 5 minutes to figure out how to click his figure up, and then time would have been called. Oh, I'm sorry. I love you, Mike. I love you. It's not slow play. It's turtling. We do that. It's fine. It really is fine, Mike. I love you. In a totally Manny bro way, your king demands it. Next round is Kenji, like I said. Last round was Kenny, and I knew against Shaquem Thunders in that formation, I just own it. So I wasn't even worried. I was like, I got that. Title character, prime character, Shaquem, whatever. Trump or Garth.
Get trumped. All right.
What about Derek? That's it. Continue.
All right, cool. What did you think of the event overall? Did you think it was well run? Were the judges, everything like that?
I really liked the venue could have been. I'm also a professional janitor, so I kind of noticed things like that. As far as a rented venue space, I think we should have asked for a small refund. Honestly, I think they could have probably gone like, "Hey, listen, not all your bathroom toilets work."
Yeah.
Back on that, because Jiminy Crickets, you don't have a toilet in one of the stalls. There isn't a toilet in a stall. They're missing a toilet, and they still charge full price.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, and the other room was junky, but whatever. Like it fits its purpose. A slightly larger play area would have been better, but it fit its purpose. Like, or two. I don't know what I would have done differently. It was efficiently run. Yep. That is efficiently run.
All right. On that, we look forward from Canadian Nationals to Origins. Now, I believe you mentioned before the show you're not going to get a chance to play in Origins, but that doesn't preclude us from speculating as to what we can see. We got rotation coming in, what is it now? It's the 25th, so about 6 days. 6 days left in this. So in 7 days, it's a completely different metagame. What do you predict will be seen at Origins at all?
Well, I really think, like I said, that shifting focus Doctor Strange is huge. I really hope that people figure out how to play ID cards. It's something that's bugged me for a while. People don't know how to play ID cards. They're very bad at it. They're like, oh yeah, I just put on Nick Fury. It's good to go. Bah. Like, no, you're not very good at this game. If your idea of playing ID cards is, I have a 200-point character. I'm going to play 200-point characters worth of ID cards. You're not doing good.
Mm-hmm.
You're not very good at this game. You should probably, skip to something easier like Uno, checkers. But I really hope people figure out how to play ID cards this year. I think I didn't see a single player but me play them correctly. But I didn't see everyone's team, so I don't knock everybody. Then that Doctor Strange in the new set, maybe those Thors. Good synergy with the Doctor Strange Thor there. I would love to see a defender with team ability, or keyword defender, excuse me, to really take advantage of all the Doctor Strange goodness. Or a wild card, decent wild card to get all that goodness in there. Reducing damage by an extra 1. And then healing is huge. I can't say the word huge enough because it's, it's my main man, who I didn't vote for, by the way. I just, did a parody click of him. So I think that's going to be huge. Obviously, Jakeem's going to be everywhere. Whether or not he gets piloted successfully is another matter entirely. Jakeem plus Eclipso plus Supreme Intelligence is kind of good. Get that willpower stealth going on, get the shape change or impervious going, and then then choose 2 more powers.
Yeah, you still have a few more to go.
Yeah, so that's kind of good. I think we'd be surprised by Robug. Robust is a character from Turtles 3. He makes insect tokens.
Lord Krug? Lord Drake? Sorry, Lord Drake?
Yeah, he makes the robot token, the insect token guys.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm usually good with the
pull 'em up.
Turtle stuff, but pulling up HC realms for us right now to save our health here. Team NT3, and unless somebody in the chat's got it, yeah, I think Aaron's agreeing with me on Lord Dreg. Created okay, they are called Robugs. Yeah, forgot about it. Yeah.
In cap and a flight and some other stuff, and you could make 3 of them as a power action. That every time he gets hit, he gets another one. But every time he gets hit, which can be negated by reducing the damage, I think it's I'm always surprised that people could use in good synergy, but they don't, because people like you don't call it meta. They're like, oh, it's not meta. It's an A+ figure. It's an A figure, but it isn't the meta. So people focus on this narrow gap of figures when in reality, it was like the same size as my head. The reality is that more figures should get played. People should be playing, man. There's other pieces out there that I really think could get played very well. Here's an unkillable combo, if you don't know how to play against it right, is that Doctor Strange, as aforementioned, with Mankiller. Mankiller says that if you attack with a number higher than her printed damage or printed attack value, use that instead, as long as she's a single target. And then at some point, her damage is 3, and she has invulnerability, which means you take 1, which Doctor Strange then heals you up. So you take 0 in the end. That could be fun. I don't know if it's really meta, but you like that. And, I think we haven't seen all of the new set. And I think there could be some more useful figures in there. They show that Thor yet? The one that energy explosion?
We've seen we saw the one that can't have its damage reduced by by click number it's on. And
triple energy explosion?
Yeah, I think it had triple target energy explosion.
That is some good, the kids say. Even under the new rules, because under the new rules, you could triple target with 2 damage to 3 different groups of people.
Yeah.
And then it's not reduced below 1. And it's not reduced below 2. And it's not reduced below 3, so you're not reducing it at all.
Yeah.
And then that Iron Man, 105-point Iron Man with, if he targets you, you get an action token. If he targets you, he doesn't even have to hit you. He can be like, pew pew, dude. Action token.
Does it have to hit? I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Please, I'm gonna just give people action tokens all day. Yeah. I think those are great figures. The founding Avengers traits, they move for free. So if you are a smart player and you're going to carry up a character who's a threat, forcing your opponent to focus on a threat. Like, are they going to take out the Thor before he can energy explode him, or Iron Man before he can target him, or take out the threat character, like a Faust. Like Thor carrying up Faust. What do you hit? You hit Faust? Thor, you get Fausted. You hit Faust, you get Thored. Or if you play smart, you run away. Just run away. This is a no-win. I get out of here, man. Nuke it from orbit. I think there's lots of new stuff that could be used. Obviously, there's Punisher abuse. Like, we haven't seen the full set yet. We know it's Punisher heavy and What If. We got all these Punishers. We got that Chase Punisher, who counts as a Punisher for the van,
Yeah.
the Punisher van. I think the Punisher van could be useful for a Marvel Knights team or just a Punisher team in general. Like, there's lots out there that could be surprisingly good. I just need somebody to figure it out and not worry about Jakeem all the time. Like, I have to have Jakeem to beat Jakeem. No, Faust. But Trump and Gorath just proved you don't need Jakeem to beat Jakeem. I know the other nationals have not had a Jakeem one yet, and we can say that Britain doesn't have Jakeems, or South Africa is lacking of Jakeems, or Mexico can't even spell the word Jakeem or something like that, but you beat 3 of them, piloted by the best players in the world. And I'm a joke. That's more mind games. I'm really more of a confident player than I give out. I think there's lots there. Ooh, got a good question?
No, we're kind of Skyping out there. There we go. We're back.
Woo! Yeah, it's all about synergy. Like, if you can make a very synergetic team and then pick apart your opponent's team, pivoting on the axis, you can just win. That's all you really need to do is synergy and pivot, and you win.
Awesome.
Playing ID cards right is also highly correct. Like, so people, yeah, continue.
I was going to say, so come Origins, you mentioned ID cards getting played correctly and a lot of finding synergies in your team. Do you think it's going to be back to an uprise on Colossal Retaliation? And is that going to be – because I find Colossal Retaliation has been doing a dip. Like, it started high, went low, got back high again, and then went low again. It seems to be in a low. Do you think it's going to be back to a high come Origins?
I think we'll be back to high because the number of mystical characters and characters that retaliate based on that are down. So, yeah, it's still Faust, but name another mystic character you think is going to be seen. Guardian of Earth? Yeah, so Faust and Guardian of Earth are the 2 mystics you're probably likely to see, which means Retaliation's back, in my opinion. You play a smart Retaliator like a Brimstone or a Retaliator Plus. Hey, here's a freebie. Here's a freebie for the internet. You play Superman Batman Robot. Simple enough. Moves across the board, 3 range, 3 damage attack, or 3 area of effect square, so 7 squares across area of effect, 3 damage, creates debris, all that fun stuff. Is not a actionable token and can be done in the beginning of your turn. So you go across the board, you hit or miss, you then ID card in the Adam. Not the retaliating Adam, the 25-point F up your day Adam.
I love that guy.
Yeah, you bring him in, and now he has a 4 damage, 12 attack, and he's next to the guy that may have just taken 3 from, or anybody, and he just ends their life. Like, oh, let me hit you for 4 more. What are you, 5-click deep guy? We're good to go here. I mean, damage. That's huge, and you've expended 5 points of your team. You've used 1 ID card up, and it's the Adam.
Yeah.
That's the proper way to play ID cards. People that bog down their main attackers to use an ID card early in the game or mid-game, you're not using ID cards right. Anyone who calls in a Nick Fury on a character that, like I called in Nick Fury twice. Most of the time I was using Nick Fury Jr., 50-point Nick Fury Jr., or 50-point Captain America from Old Man Cap with the shillelagh. Because they're 50 points, so my secondary character, Bizarro, who might not have been doing anything that turn, becomes useful. Bizarro now becomes Captain America. He becomes Nick Fury Jr. He becomes Doctor Strange. He becomes Hellcat. And provides a numerical bonus and a secondary bonus to my character. Oh, yeah, that's the other fun. You bring in the Adam, and the ID card says you can shrink the adjacent friendly character. So now you can shrink the Colossal Retaliator down to a small... Yeah, carry and sidestep away with him.
And then the Adam is gone.
The Atom's gone, right. Yeah, that's it sounds like a win thing situation to me.
I think that the multi-base of the Colossal would stop that, though.
Yes, it would.
Yeah,
that would. But there's still shenanigans to be played.
Yeah,
there's shenanigans to be played there. So, yeah, I think that's a great situational combo that people could use, or you can still use that combo with the Solaris, who doesn't affect your own characters. His area of effect says all opposing characters within 4 squares, whatever, get an action token. And then he has 5 points. So you can still call on the Adam, and then have the Adam go 11-4 with an outwit, and attack somebody. That's still huge.
Mm-hmm.
Still a big swing on that. And meanwhile, you're powering up your teleporter. That's a great retaliation against somebody who's just hit you from the other side of the board with the Jakeem Thunder.
Yeah, it's interesting because this has been a thing I've noticed with the small character. The small characters that came from Joker's Wild is the ID card synergy is there, and it's it's something. And I'm not gonna lie, if I was going to Origins, that would be a consideration of mine, is the Colossal Retaliation with the small characters. So you heard it from the Canadian National Champ.
The Krang team, I mentioned earlier, he didn't have good synergy on his ID cards. He effectively played 10 points short against me. Because his 2 ID cards were Shield Level 7 and Iron Man. And his other 3 characters are not attackers. He had 2 Baxter Stock and Just On. So those guys aren't attackers. They're outwitters, as good outwitters, but they're not attackers. So he has to give up the ID bonus to bring in an Iron Man to shoot down some walls so that no one else can attack that turn. Now, if he was playing the ID card for Green Arrow, he could have brought in 40-point Green Arrow with Just On a turn he wasn't using him for or anything, and made an attack. Or Hawkeye, the new 30-point Hawkeye, he could have brought in with the Baxter Stockmans who weren't tokened, and then that Hawkeye, that Baxter Stockman with an outwit, turns into a deadly Hawkeye with range combat expert. Huge synergy there. So you're getting an extra attacker, not cost the main effect of your main attacker, and just this. It drives me nuts. People are still playing oh yeah, I've got this guy, so I can play this up this much. Just play little guys. ID character doesn't have to be a big swinger. Sure, there's Hulks out there, yeah, but Faust can bring in the new 80-point leap climb a Quake Hulk, which is huge. Faust isn't always getting an action token. He's not always shooting. Sure, Faust could maybe Psychic Blast you for 3, but against the formations we're going to see, bringing in that Quake Hulk and giving Jakeem Thunder Quake, or charge, and a +1 to close combat attacks, while bringing in a defender who's going to charge your opponent and Quake them, could be huge. That could be something that's really playable. It's just people got to space their ID cards out.
Yeah.
In a better manner.
Yeah, I think
especially it's robots.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's the shift comes from the fact that we have to rethink how they work with the new set. We're about to lose the Ultrons, who are a 30-point way of getting 120 points out. We had the Quinjet, which gave you almost endless options with the with ID cards. With those 2 factors gone, we have to look at the ID cards and say, is it worth it to take my big guy and create just another big guy for a turn, or is it more beneficial to take a guy who, like you said, isn't going to be attacking and turn an attacker out of that? And I remember it was one of my plans with my team, and then somehow I got distracted and said I might need a Nick Fury just to deal with a thing. I ended up sucking anyway. So
sometimes you need Nick Fury anyways.
Yeah.
Hit him. There's different ways to play ID cards, but I think the Nick Fury is still a good base.
Yeah. All right. With that said, we're going to move on to the fan questions. So if you happen to be watching in the chat, put big capital letters question beforehand so that I can see it, because it's a bit of an active chat, and it's sometimes hard to catch your questions in there. But the first one comes from Joe Fixit, who asks, will the new rules make it so that Jakeem dominates less? What do you think, Adam?
Well, you can pre-outwit his powers. That could be useful. And you can post-outwit his powers. So he chooses a power, you can then outwit it, so we can't use it that turn or the next turn. But I think outwit returns to its place of power with the new rules. I think outwit becomes really something you need to, A, have on your team, and B, worry about. Because you can just outwit things now The only real protection now is specially worded traits and power cosmic.
Yep.
Stay protected, outwit. Power stay protected, outwit. So we don't know what that involves yet, but we will.
Yeah.
Still hand motions.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be right now. Anything that says it can't be countered will be poster added to, protected outwit. But Nick Fury will still have his can't use effect, which kind of still gets around that. But that's one more year. Then we move on next to Fabricio Granados. What is your reaction to the new set in regards to competitive play? And, what's your reaction to, oh my gosh, this Trump of Garath worked?
Well, there was never a doubt in my mind that Trump of Garath would work. But the reaction to the new set, did he mean ADW or did he mean what if?
I think he's talking about what if and what we've seen so far.
Okay, what if and what we've seen so far. What if in the public knowledge that is out there, I think there are several potentially meta pieces that people need to, you caught that, what people need to stop worrying about Jakeem and love the bomb. Just say Jakeem is the thing that's going to happen. Nick Fury is the thing that's going to happen. How do I make this Thor a playable, viable event? How do I make this Spider-Man? This, oh God, Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter, the Spider-Man, whatever.
Peter the Hunter.
Hunter, yes. Yes, Peter and the Wolf. Actually, man, I need 2 wolf tokens to get him now, and I can play Peter and the Wolf. That's necessary. Yeah, I think Peter and the Wolf. How do you make Peter and the Wolf viable against him? What do you make it playable? Like, how do you synergize his effects? Obviously, he makes 4 bystander tokens, so bystander tokens are good with the round table. He's got different keywords. What kind of use synergy with that? Or not round table, teleporter now, excuse me.
Yeah, round table no good. Teleporter, okay.
Left hand no good. Right hand best hand. Okay, I guess they still have thumbs, so I guess we're good. Yeah. So yeah, I think just energy in the new characters and not worrying about the old meta and just making sure your team is viable against it. And because everyone's just focused on and drives up the cost of figures too. We're like, oh, you have to have Faust in order to be. I've seen players just say you have to have Faust be competitive. No, you have to have Jakeem to be competitive.
Yeah.
No.
It's one of those things. It's you don't have to have the thing to be competitive. You have to beat the thing to be competitive.
Right.
Yeah. With that, I do want to point. I do want to kind of voice my opinion on Alyosha being reduced to a Pog after we got that Prime one in Spider-Man.
Well, this is whoops Alyosha. This is an Alyosha that's head is he's been broken by Peter there. So,
I beat your dad. What's up?
Yeah, I beat your dad. I'm gonna feed you to the lions if you don't mess. And he gets outwit. That's pretty good. It's a bystander token with outwit. That's a threat, especially the new rules. That's a threat.
So the Rugged Dookie, who's also Aaron Cantu of 2 Clicks from KO. Yeah, that's the one.
I'll go on Sunday if you want, Aaron.
You heard that. You heard it here first, Aaron. He'll be on your show if you ask. But he did, ask if you're going to be playing in Origins. And we've already defined that you aren't. So his follow-up question is, do you feel bad that now whoever's in 4th place doesn't get their seat and you're not taking said seat? That's not his exact wording. His exact wording is, do you feel bad about knocking anybody out who's now not going to get their chance at Origins?
No. The 4th place is Patricia. Patricia's going to Origins. I'm not going to say, listen, I beat Kenny Pena so bad he was nearly in tears. Okay, he told me he's not going to be playing at Origins himself. So, that's 2 guys I knocked out. It was me and Kenny both out. I'm just saying that right now. We're both out. I beat him so badly, he's just going to have to retire now. And Ohio, I'm coming for you next, all right? Don't you think I forgot about you.
I just want to point out that the smack talk presented here by Mr. Adam Kohl is not the opinions there of Married with Clicks. Carry on, Adam.
No, this is opinion of the King of the North. As your king, I demand this is your opinion.
There's a red wedding coming up. Don't worry about it.
All right.
All right. Aaron did go on to say what's a correct way to play the ID cards, but I think you covered that very nicely.
Support attackers. Second support attackers.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to mess this one up here. Luke Scheffenacker has a question. Do you think the Unicorn Deadpool is going to be meta? And if so, what should you use with it?
Oh, man. Unicorn Deadpool meta. I am so prepped for this. I'm so excited about Unicorn Deadpool meta. I think he's great. I think he's got solid stats. Those 12s and 4s and 18s and tons of clicks of invulnerability and impervious, and he could just say no to damage once. Like, hey man, I know you just hit me for 6 and all, Superman, but no. Yeah, just no. That's a cool ultra heavy use this month, but no. I think he's great. I think he's got a unicorn. I love unicorns. I'm not really. I'm just okay with unicorns.
I've seen Cabin in the Woods. I have a new opinion of unicorns.
Yeah, unicorns. Yeah, I've got that unicorn, miniature I use. I think it could be. I think if you worked on a team with it, shifting focus. I'm going to say shifting focus, Doctor Strange, and Bizarro, and 10 points for was the symbiote on him, and now you've got carrying, 18 defense, self-healing, you're protected from range attacks. You've got shape change and impervious. You can negate damage once. You're not immune to outwit, but you got some solid stuff going on. The fact that you can attack after being carried is always good. Look out for characters that can attack after being carried, because that breaks the fundamental rule of the game. No attack after action.
Let's
see.
What year is it? You started 3 years into the game. No action after taxi came before you started in the game. We had a year or two of that.
Yeah, I had a little bit of that, but yeah.
All right. So that covers the questions from the fans today. Yeah. Either that or I didn't catch them because I didn't put capital letters question ahead of time.
People, quickly ask more questions now. Cut this out.
You got about 10 more seconds while we vamp about the questions.
Type furiously, my fans. Your king commands it.
King of the North. Little does he realize we're giving him the cold parts. The far north.
Oh, God. Where the White Walkers live? Listen, I'm north of Canada, so don't even give me the north parts. All right? That's where I live. Windsor, north of Point Pelee, most southernmost point in Canada.
Yeah, I think that's also as far south as some parts of California.
Yeah, I think it is, honestly. But we're directly north. The country directly south, east, and north of us is Canada. So I'm surrounded by the country I rule for the next, 9 months or 10 months, whatever it is. So,
Fabricio wanted to point out that he's way south of us all. So he's like, king of mine. Apparently he's a Lannister.
All right, Tyrion.
All right. With all that, looks like we're kind of cooling down in here. So, Adam,
yeah,
2 things. 1, congratulations, 2017 Canadian National Champion. It's you played a heck of a game, and maybe next year I'll try a little harder and knock you out. But I also want to thank you very much for joining us on the show. Is there anything you want to mention on the way out before you leave us?
I do. I want to give a shout out to my cat, who passed right after I won. It was a really rough. If you knew me, this was a really rough weekend. I lost my cat. She got cancer the minute I crossed the bridge. The doctor said it's cancer, and you got a couple hours, maybe a couple days. And she held on till I got back and told her that I won. So I won thinking of her the whole time. And she passed on Monday, which is why we took several days before we got out to these interviews. But so shout out to my cat Rasputin in the hereafter. Probably has YouTube watching cat videos right now. Well, not watching me, but cat videos. So bears, she loves bears. Yeah, it's always darkest before the dawn. There's hope for you yet, Jason. Just think a little more inside the box, a little less completely outside of a rectangle.
Dude, I was playing in a box somewhere in South Dakota, man. That's how far out of the box I am.
You could have made that team work. I believed in you. I did believe in you. I think there's a little more synergy on your team, and I think you could have made it work. But
I think part of it is a timing issue.
Yeah, you talk to Mike Payne about that timing. You're a comedian now, so you got that timing thing on tight.
That's right. Mike has been doing a lot of stand-up lately. All right. With that, thank you again, Adam, for joining us. Thank you guys for watching in the live chat and for your input for the questions. If you're watching in the archive, thank you guys very much for watching. In the meantime, have a good night. And once again, sending us out, King of the North, Adam Kohl.
North!